Hey guys, been getting a lot of questions on the new Rolux electric mower. There's really not a lot of information out there on the internet right now about these, so I thought I'd answer a few questions for you. One of the biggest concerns that I had about the mower was obviously the battery life and the power that it would have compared to their gas mower. So this mower uses the Ego batteries, and I have two 6 amp hour batteries from Ego that I use in my mower. These are fairly expensive, so that's something to consider if you're buying this mower as well, to budget for these batteries. With the two 6 amp hours, which would give me a total of 12 amp hours, I'm able to mow my whole yard, which is about 5,000 square feet, and still have about 30% power left over when I'm done. So I think at minimum you would need at least 10 amp hours total, either 2 5s or 1 10. It can operate on just one battery as well. So another concern not a concern, but a question that I had about this mower would be, if it had enough power to cut through, that really thick Bermuda grass that I have here in my yard. I had an Outlet mower, an older one. It just didn't have the power that was needed to do that. I can say with this one that it is very powerful. It'll cut through pretty much any grass type you have, as long as it's not, grown up to like 4 inches. And I'll demonstrate that for you here shortly. All right, so your mower comes with a Ego key like this. You put it in ignition, you turn it to the on state, and then you have your readouts here. So we're at 95%. We're using the 2 batteries, and this is your motor speed, I believe. So how fast the drums on the bottom propel you forward, as well as how fast the reel spins as well. And then obviously on the left hand side you have your kind of I guess, what is it called, clutch lever, so you can kind of feather the power this way to gauge how fast you want to propel the mower forward. So what I usually have it on right now, we'll do it kind of at half power here, and I can show you kind of how fast the reel spins. So as you can see, more than enough power here. This will cut through pretty much anything. Even if you need to kind of scalp it down real low, you'll have plenty of power to get the job done there. Brings me to my next point though. Just because it's electric doesn't mean it's silent, right? So this is actually pretty loud for an electric mower. Definitely not as loud as a combustible engine, but if you're expecting it to be completely silent, it's not that. So it's good for residential areas, but you'll definitely be making a little more noise than you anticipate with this. So another thing that I wanted to point out is the height of cut information. So you can adjust the height of cut on this mower with these bolts here. So you loosen I'll show you later, but I think the height of cut range is from 0.12 at the lowest. So that's really low, like putting green level. And then I think it goes all the way up to 1.3 or 1.4. So it's definitely made for a lower cut lawn. Another thing I want to touch on is this is a very heavy mower. I have the 25-inch, and I think that's probably the best middle ground. They make a 20-inch as well as a 30-inch. I would be very hesitant to purchase the 30-inch unless you have a really huge yard. And then the 20-inch would probably be good for smaller yards, but you're going to get more of that kind of back and forth motion. So I think the 25-inch is probably the best bet for most people, but I would say this is probably pushing 200 pounds. So maneuvering it can be a challenge at times. So.